My name is Peter Foley, and I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I've been down here since 1996 and originally from upstate New York. The number one that we wanted to improve was our communication through the ability to have services 24/7. So many folks in the construction industry, in other industries too, we have a tendency not to communicate or have access once 9 to 5, you go through that window. So I really thought for a lot of folks, we have a lot of customers in California, other parts, time zones in the US, and I really wanted folks to get a service to be responded to, and really, one word, great communication, for us to differentiate ourselves in the world that we live in, and especially the construction industry. When we first got involved, if I know somewhat the time frames, you're talking 2017, somewhere in that area. If I remember correctly, we were looking for that service to differentiate ourselves. So we probably called around to our local network, and then we probably did some due diligence, somehow landed on your company, and so forth. And that's kind of how the beginning went. What really separated us, we got into Florence, which is September 14th, 2018. And we went from using 250 minutes on the average a month, somewhere in that, to about, if I remember correctly, somewhere about 40 times that in a 2-week period. And this was all based upon Hurricane Florence and so forth. But that's what really got us to, how would you say, get the interaction between Lewis, myself, the company, because we went through a major thing where we literally could not turn on our phones for the better part of 90 days without being so inundated you couldn't do anything else. So from the middle of September to almost December 1st, we relied on your services. Combination of that, tough time for everybody up in the Carolinas when Florence hit, and along folks took it on the way up. But it quite frankly, it bonded us, put us in a very tough position. Couldn't communicate well because of what we were going through. But the ability to be able to reach out and get good messages and then call people back and try to at least give them a good direction to take their challenge with their roof, because the majority of them, we know we couldn't repair, dry in as we call it, or replace their roof, but at least we could do was give them a direction to go with. And my big takeaway was, as much of the sting was, because I think I literally called 12 or 1,300 people in the course of 30 days myself. And as I told Lewis before, everybody was answering the phone if it was a roofer. Meaning the people on the other end weren't dodging the roofer's phone calls. They were waiting for them because of the necessity. So, I guess the big one is we bonded at that time, and we've had a great relationship now for the past 4.5 years. Through that time of being inundated, Lewis has a team of tens and tens of callers. So quite frankly, I do everything with sports analogy, like any team. You've got strong players, your A players, you got Bs, and you got newbies coming on. And the part that kind of drew me in is that every phone call was recorded. So if we got a weak phone call, I was able to contact either Lewis or somebody in his team, able to look at the call, listen to it, and then be able to react to get stronger, from the answering service care team. And then there was a lot of, they were inundated, from Florida all the way up. So you had a lot of folks in a lot of seats, I presume. And, after a while, we got, my language, we got tailored We got a little bit more tight with what we're doing. And quite frankly, that extension of our business, which it clearly is, got even more congruent, meaning our messages, how we timely get back to folks, where folks would literally tell our folks in the office, man, whoever's doing your phone service, they're doing a great job. And let's say this, when it was once in a while a tough one, we worked through those. We didn't just let them go to the wayside and say, oh, we'll get to whenever. We stopped what we're doing, relayed to Lewis. He did his end, got back, and we kept pushing it, pushing to get better on both sides and so forth, from the script to the timeliness, how long we take to answer the phone. Because in today's world, everybody wants immediate gratification. And quite frankly, the smoother we got on both our worlds with our communication skills, the better it got for us.